Oh, here's your backstage pass.
Right, quiet on the set.
Action!
Welcome to Sedona's Backstage Pass with Shondra, presented by Chef Lisa Dahl. This is your inside look into culture, curators, and creative artists. And now, your host, Shondra.
Welcome, my VIPs. You've got your Backstage Pass, and you are in. Like I say every episode, get ready for some behind-the-scenes stories that you would never hear about unless you tuned in here at Sedona's Backstage Pass. And I'll tell you what, I've got some really great news. This is exciting. As of today, that's right, as of today, I have a new collaborator. When I say collaborator, I mean that when you go to this site I'm going to tell you about, which is sedona.biz, you will find me there. Okay, you'll find an ad and you'll click on it. It'll take you right to Spotify so you can hear these episodes weekly just by going to sedona.biz. I'm excited about it because Tommy Acosta is a wonderful writer. He's an excellent singer and musician, and we'll get into that later. He will be at one point in my In the Living Room music series, but for right now, he is a fabulous collaborator. And just remember, sedona.biz, you can find out about everything going on in Sedona, including a phenomenal events calendar. So I'm no longer doing the events calendar. Go to sedona.biz and you can find out about all the things that are going on. That's right. And between the two of us, we got you covered. Those of you who are really interested in what's going on in Sedona. And another place that you can check out is the Sedona International Film Festival. Their website is sedonafilmfestival.com. There you're going to find out about all the great events, the concerts, the indie films that they are showing at their two beautiful theaters over there, the Mary D. Fisher Theater and the Alice Gill Sheldon Theater. For instance, if you really love poetry, you'll go and find the information on Sedona Film Festival about the Sedona Poetry Slams that happen there. Also the stand-up comedy nights, the Pink Floyd and other music in surround sound musical events. This is the place to go, all right? The In the Living Room music series. My music series is there every other Monday with wonderful artists that you get to actually have an engaging conversation with by asking them questions during their concert. These are the kinds of events, concerts, and films that are going on over at the Mary D. Fisher Theater and the Alice Gill Sheldon Theater. So make sure you go to sedonafilmfestival.com. You'll see their schedule of upcoming events. That is a good place. So you got two wonderful websites to visit. My first guest is somebody who comes in with tons of information all about Sedona, all about the history of Sedona. Can you guess who it is? That's right, it's Nate Meyers of the Sedona Heritage Museum. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. That's a good introduction. That's
right,
fun.
It's like, how many clues can I give? We have a clue game going on at the Heritage Museum, don't we? Do you want to tell people a little bit about that?
Oh, the Agents of Discovery app?
Yes.
Yeah, for kids, we've got this great app that when you get to the museum, you can download it. And then there are 8 challenges for you to complete all around the museum. It'll take you through all the buildings and across all of Sedona's history.
That is so good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And the kids love it. Do the adults love it?
Adults love it too, yeah.
I would love something like that.
There's this great moment I saw recently where there was a mom with 2 little ones, and they were struggling a little bit with one of the challenges. There's a little bit more to it. It's a little more complex, and they asked for some help, and she initially kind of rolled her eyes, and she takes a phone, and it's an augmented reality one where you're trying to pack apples into a crate.
Okay.
And she starts messing around with the app and playing with this augmented reality, and she gets this grin on her face, and she goes, oh, I get it. And she starts playing it. And then the kids start like tugging on her shirt, and they're like, Mom, we want to play.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She's like hogging it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, good. I know it. We came in like, I know, was it a national thing that this program is?
Because it was a statewide. The app itself is a Canadian product, and it's available across Canada, the United States.
Okay.
But I think what you're talking about is the Arizona Explorer Challenge that was in March and April. And it was a challenge between all the users of Agents of Discovery across Arizona competing against each other to see who could get the highest number of plays. during this 6-week period from beginning of March to middle of April.
Yes.
And Sedona Heritage Museum, I'm proud to say, came in 3rd place.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, our little town, we're a little bit mighty.
Yeah, that's right.
It. That's our visitors. Okay, so we are talking about things that are happening in May, right this moment. I mean, right this second, actually. We've got an event coming up. You want to tell everybody about, first of all, about the Historical Preservation Month. That's what this is, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
May is National Historic Preservation Month.
Is that for every museum?
It's not necessarily for every museum, because not every museum is as involved in historic preservation as Sedona Heritage Museum is.
Oh.
But nationwide, it's just a celebration of, preserving our historic structures and properties and districts across the country. So, at the Sedona Heritage Museum, we work closely with the city and the city's Historic Preservation Commission to share our built community history, to educate people about the important buildings. And historic preservation is the practice of landmarking historic buildings. And they can be historic for any number of reasons. It could be because of what happened there, who lived there, who worked there, who designed it, who built it.
What's the most interesting of those that you've come across? Have you ever come across anything really unusual, like something unusual happened there? I want like a spooky
I don't know if
story.
Sedona, I don't know that Sedona, of our 25, 26 landmarks, it kind of depends on how you count our landmarks. It can be a little bit confusing because, for instance, landmarks 1, 2, and 3 in the City of Sedona Landmark Registry are the Jordan farmhouse, the Jordan apple shed, and the Jordan tractor shed, which are all at the
Heritage Museum.
Right? So, like, is that 1 because they're all on one property, or is it 3 because they're 3 different buildings? So there's a little bit of confusion. Same thing with the Ranger Station over on Brewer Road. People might not know that the old Ranger House and the Ranger Barn are both historic landmarks in the city register as well as the National Register for their history. And in fact, the Ranger House is the oldest standing structure in Sedona.
And I read that one of our board members actually grew up there. This is bizarre. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Allison Holmes. Just a big shout out to her.
Shout out to Allison.
Yeah, that she grew up there, and I read this article. It was in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, recently. Great article.
Yeah.
And did you put that article... Can't talk all of a sudden. Did you put that article together?
I didn't know. That was
so they did it.
Yeah, the Red Rock News reported on an event at the Ranger Station. The city has done a great job preserving that building, turning that into a great park, and they've won many awards for it. And I'm going to get this wrong because I'm not in this world, but I think it's like the American Public Works Association, something like that, gave them a national award for the work that they did there. And they had a huge event out there. They had a bunch of speakers. So they asked me, as the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission here in Sedona, to say a few words. They asked Steve Segner as a historic commissioner and a neighbor to that park to speak. And Mayor Plug spoke. And it was a really, really nice event. And I focused my comments on Allison's family, actually, because her dad was a ranger. And so she grew up on that property, not in the ranger house that stands, a different house that was on the property.
Which is no longer there.
Correct.
Which is really interesting to me. Like, why would they tear that down? What was the reason for that?
That I don't know. That happened before I got here. So by the time I arrived in Sedona,
yes,
it was the ranger house and the barn. And that was all that was on that property.
And the ranger house was just, that was nothing. I mean, this has just been put together recently, hasn't it? I mean, it was there.
Well, the house has
vacated.
been there since 17.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's been vacated for some time. There was nothing happening.
So the U.S. Forest Service established a ranger station on that site in 1905. And it was one of the first ranger stations in the country. And I have a theory about that, actually. we'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
But it operated continuously as a ranger station until folks who are familiar with where the ranger station is today, south of VOC, off of 179.
Okay.
That's where the ranger station is today.
Oh. The one that's active.
But yeah, the active ranger station. But until that was built and opened in the early 2000s, that was an active ranger station. Yeah,
wow.
on Brewer
right
Road.
in the heart. It's really in the heart of Sedona.
The heart of Sedona. That's what that area is called, because that was where the first grocery store was, the first service station, both at the Heart store. The ranger station was there. The Schnebley boarding house was right there.
Right. I was going to say, Sedona Schnebley, that's where her little girl Pearl was dragged, where Los Abrigados is what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
crazy.
right. Yep.
Wild stuff.
Yep. So that was the heart of Sedona.
Amazing. So that's all been restored now, and it's only been 3 years or 2 years? Because it was after you came. You've been here for 3 years, yeah?
I've been here going on 4 years.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, one of the first things I did when I got here was Janine Trevelyan and I, Janine being the longtime leader of the Historical Society before I arrived, we went out to the ranger station, met with city staff, and they asked us to submit something to the city about what the Historical Society's vision for that might be.
Wow.
And so that was one of the first things I did when I got here was write that letter to the city about, well, it could be this.
Good for you, because you started this whole thing rolling, this ball rolling.
Oh, no, I stepped in.
You stepped in, and it had already been going. It was already
rolling, yeah. I just got in the way of that boulder, and it picked me up. It's like a snowball.
And then there you went, and here it is. It's great.
Yeah.
So I haven't even, this is terrible, I drive by there all the time, and I've not been on property. It's not open to the public.
The buildings are not open to the public yet.
Right.
The park is.
Right.
And you should definitely go check it out, walk the perimeter of the park. There's a fitness trail out there. There's this great playground that they put in with a play structure that's shaped like a javelina.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to go play on that.
Okay, you're going to have to do that when everybody's sleeping. It's like, I thought I saw the executive director of the Heritage Museum playing on that javelina playhouse thingy.
But I do want to mention the theory I had about the ranger station. So 1905, the United States Forestry Service had just been established.
Okay.
Teddy Roosevelt had just established it. And the primary opponent to the Forest Service in the United States Senate was a guy named William Clark.
Okay.
Who was a senator from Montana who owned mines across the West, including the United Verde mine over in Jerome. Clark is the one who established Clarkdale.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
As a community for his workers. So William Clark was very much opposed to the Forest Service because the Forest Service was going to limit where he could dig mines, right?
Okay.
And so he was heavily opposed to it. And so I've had this theory that Sedona was nothing. Like the name Sedona had just been coined for the place, right?
Right. Because it was Red Rock country before.
There was nothing where Sedona is today. Red Rock existed, but that's out where the state park is today. And so there weren't really roads that led to this area. There weren't roads that led up the canyon or anything. There were trails, but you couldn't really call them roads. And there aren't tourists. There aren't a ton of tourists ascending on this area. And so there's not a great need for a ranger station here. There's not a ton of people coming. There's not a lot of management that needs to be done that can't be done out of Flagstaff or someplace more populated, right?
Okay.
And so my theory is that Roosevelt stuck a ranger station in Sedona to kind of be a snub to William Clark. Hey, you got a big mine over there. I'm going to stick a ranger station just across the valley. Keep an eye on you.
That's
funny. My theory. I don't have anything to back that up. I should be clear. But
when you say Roosevelt, you mean as in
Teddy Roosevelt?
Yeah, wow.
President Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah.
Incredible. It's amazing to me that we had that kind of attention here. Why here?
Right.
Because of that.
And I think it's because of that.
Because of that.
Because of the conflict between Clark and Roosevelt.
That makes sense. That really does. Because they had a conflict anyway, so he was like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah, I'm going to get you. And nearest place I could stick a ranger station, a Forest Service ranger station that makes sense, would be here.
Interesting. Oh, that's really
Because you're not going to
interesting.
stick one in Cottonwood.
So, like, when
it's
they,
not really a forest.
Well, right. When they did this, yeah, it would be the obvious, right?
Yeah.
When they did this, did they come out? I mean, did Teddy Roosevelt come out to be there? No, it was nothing like that.
No.
It was like a small
No,
thing.
yeah, the ranger was sent out here, and we have journals from some of those early rangers, and it's interesting. They did so much horseback riding around this whole area. And,
Oh, my gosh.
They'll name places that you'd recognize today, up and down Oak Creek Canyon.
Wow.
Across, to the east, to the west, all over the area. Just riding around, checking for illegal grazing, checking for fire, all
Wow.
that. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
the same stuff rangers do today.
Interesting
Managing
stuff.
recreation.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, but again, now we don't have any rangers there. It's just the park. So, yeah. Okay. Good. So now let's talk about May 27th. This big event that's happening.
Yeah.
Well, it's a talk, right?
Yeah. So for Historic Preservation Month, the museum's doing a few things. We've got an exhibit that's open right now, very cleverly titled Sedona's Historic Landmarks. And it's all 20, again, count it however you want to count it.
Okay.
But all of the landmarks.
Which is how many really are there? I mean, when you think about
There's
it.
26 numbered.
26.
Yeah.
Okay.
26
All right.
numbered landmarks, not 26 properties, because as I said, there's a
Right. That's right.
few
Yeah.
properties with multiple landmarks.
Got that.
And so they're all featured in this exhibit. And you can see pictures, you can read about why they're important and that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
Great exhibit, very informative. That'll be up through the entire month of May. And on May 27th, we are going to be hosting a historic preservation celebration. We're going to it's going to be at 5 o'clock on the 27th in the Apple Shed, which is one of the landmarks.
Yes. Which is a cool place, you guys. It has become a performance venue in many ways, which we can talk a little bit about in a minute. But yeah.
We're going to have refreshments. We're going to have some live music. It's been rumored that we might have some of our favorite musicians from Rock joining us.
Oh.
Yeah.
As in Reno and Sheila
Yep.
McCormick, which
Yep.
they're fabulous.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
I love them.
I think they'll be providing music that night.
Great.
And the big event for the evening is a talk by local architect Bobby Woods. And some of your listeners may know Bobby himself. Some of them may know his father, Don Woods, who is a very prominent architect in this area. Designed
Hugely popular.
a ton of buildings, ton of houses, the Racket Club. I mean, a bunch of stuff. He was very prolific.
If anybody out there is listening that remembers the Sedona Racket Club, that's where the place we're talking about. Don Woods, yeah, big name.
Big name, yeah. And so Bobby's going to be talking about historic preservation, why it's important and what it is, but also about his dad's career in Sedona.
Very cool.
It's really an interesting time for Don Wood's work because historic preservation, you start considering landmarking things after they turn 50 years old.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the threshold.
I see.
And a lot of Don Wood's work is starting to hit that 50-year threshold. And so we're actually starting to have some property owners who are looking at, well, maybe I want to landmark my Don Wood's
How
building.
neat. So when you do mark something, you can't change anything on the exterior. Is that correct?
Well, it's not that you can't change it, because we recognize that things change, maintenance has to be done, you need to replace windows, doors, roofs, that kind of thing. But yeah, so when you landmark something, it is about the exterior of the building and maintaining the exterior. So any changes you're going to make to it have to fit the historical integrity. And so if you own a landmarked building and you're going to do some work on it, you have to apply to the Historic Preservation Commission for what's called a certificate of no effect or a certificate of appropriateness. And those are just different levels of review. But like essentially what we do as HPC is look at it and say, okay, you're changing from single pane windows to double pane windows. Obviously that makes sense. You keep the window design similar to what it was. Don't go from something with a bunch of little panes to like one giant pain, you know.
Okay,
So keep the
those
historical
things.
integrity.
Right.
But, yes, you need to upgrade your windows.
Right.
But, yes, you need to upgrade your windows. We recognize that. We're not going to stop you from
What
doing
about
that.
painting your building? Does it need to be the same color? It does.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And so, in fact, one of the landmark homes was just granted a certificate of no effect after a review where they sent in the color palette. They said, this is what we're going to paint. We were able to look back at historical pictures of it and say, yes, this matches what it was. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, so people know then when what they're in for when they decide to do this.
Yes.
Because I would imagine that maybe painting is a big deal, and you just mentioned this. So you answered my question before I even had asked it. So what else? I mean, how did they go about doing that? Did they just contact the Heritage Museum or
the city?
The city.
Yeah, goes through the city's community development department. Is the staff that works with the city's Historic Preservation Commission.
What's the difference between having because you can file as a homestead. You can do that. You can file, like if you buy a home, you can, like I think we did that here. It's like a homestead. I don't know why that's available to people, but it was mentioned to us. And we filed it in with Cottonwood with the, no? Okay. Am I delusional?
No, you're probably not delusional. Okay. But that's not something that has anything to do with the HPC.
Okay, so that's not the same
be separate.
thing.
Yeah.
I was just curious of what the difference is, but that's a whole nother
HPC,
thing.
The Historic Preservation Commission really deals with landmarking. That's the biggest thing.
Is it true that it almost went away here in this town?
Yeah. I think it would be safe to say that. It's certainly council was reviewing it, and which they should do, review that we're doing the things we're supposed to be doing. And we were able to show over the course of the last year plus that no, we've got the commission turned around. We've landmarked some things. We've got some other potential landmarks in the hopper. We've got interested property owners. There's 2 we're working on right now. And we're out there surveying. The first step in any of this is to survey a property so you find out its history, its ownership, its provenance, if you were using a museum nerd term, its architectural features, that kind of thing. And so our commissioners will go out and conduct an initial survey, submit that to the commission, we'll review it and say, this seems to fit. Wow. Let's if the property owner wants to proceed, let's proceed.
So it's a thing. It is a thing all the way around for whoever owns that property as well as for you and the city and all of that. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Love that. So now I know that you were meeting with Nancy Lattanzi, who is part of the whole art that I'm trying to remember how we do this. Art culture for the city. Is that what it is? Yep. She's in charge of that. Great person. Shout out to Nancy Lattanzi. All those sculptures in the circles and all the roundabouts, that was done with Nancy. Are we involved in any of that?
We have not been involved with the roundabouts, but we were involved and worked closely with Nancy and other members of city staff and getting a James Muir sculpture that the museum owns called Call of the Canyon. And people may have seen it placed at the northern end of the new view walk that goes from L'Auberge Lane to Pink Jeep along 89A.
Which is something.
And so the northern anchor there is that James Muir sculpture that we worked with.
Oh, I love that sculpture.
It's a great sculpture.
You just have to wonder, what is it? Where are they going? She's holding the lantern, and he's got a rifle, and they're looking at something. Yeah.
And it was inspired by the Zane Grey novel, The Call of the Canyon, that was written in Oak Creek Canyon, inspired a movie that ended up being the first movie shot in Sedona in 1923.
Amazing.
And so James Muir is a local sculptor who was inspired to create this sculpture based on that.
That's great.
And it's really detailed. It's really,
it's just,
really, it was incredible.
You know where it used to be? It was in front of the big gallery exposures for the longest time. And I remember Tom and I, whenever we would drive by there, or anytime I would drive by and see this, and you go like, oh my gosh, what are they looking at? And it was positioned a certain way. They're looking out at the highway. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it's really provocative.
It is.
Makes you think.
I mean, you could just really stare at that for a really long time.
And I've seen, when I've been sitting there at the red light at Forest Road and just watching people interacting with it, and you do get people who spend a lot of time kind of taking in all the details.
It is.
And the
It's
backdrop
very cool.
with the red rocks behind it's very dramatic.
It's
and,
dramatic. And by the way, that walk is incredible. If you're ever, those of you who are coming into town, or even you residents who are listening, when you're walking into Uptown, that whole area there, it feels almost like a bridge. Is that a bridge? What is that?
It's not a bridge.
It feels like
but
that,
it feels
though,
like
you
it,
know,
yeah.
because it feels like it's elevated. It isn't, but it feels like that. And the canyon is to your, if you're going into Uptown, the canyon's to your right. And then all these displays. It's a huge display about the information of Sedona and then some, not just about movies, right?
No, there's 9 historical panels there, so telling 9 different stories about Sedona's history. And some of it's, the stories of the indigenous people of the area. It's the movies. It's the namesake, Sedona Schnebly. There's a handful of them. And the way I approached it was like, we should approach this like Sedona History 101. Like, what are the 9 stories that, if you don't do anything else except read these, are really going to help give you an understanding of this place?
Right. And I have to say, the Sedona Heritage Museum, you've got to go. It is fabulous. You want to learn about Sedona before you actually get into the town and do the hiking. It's absolutely a place to go, even if you want to go sometime during your stay or even after. Really important. I can't believe we've run out of time. Can you believe
Already?
it? I know, already. It goes like just like that. Bam. So anyway, thank you for being here. I know you're going to be here next month, and you'll have more stories. It's good. I love it. History is awesome. You guys visit the Sedona Heritage Museum in Uptown on Jordan Road. Can't miss it. It's fabulous. And those of you who live here, there's so many events going on. So make sure you check it out. Sedona Heritage Museum. Thanks, Nate, for being here. You guys stay with me. I'll be right back. You can taste it in every bite. For over 30 years, Chef Lisa Dahl has redefined what it means to dine in Sedona, serving soulful and handcrafted cuisine inspired by love, artistry, and community. From the original little kitchen at Dahl and DeLuca to the majestic spirit of Mariposa to the couture flair of Butterfly Burger, every experience is elevated, every ingredient intentional. In every dish, you experience Lisa's lifelong mantra: when you cook, you feed the soul. To learn more about Lisa Dahl and the Dahl restaurants, please visit cheflisadahl.com.
When your project demands precision, experience, and trust, turn to Sefton Engineering Consultants. From expert civil engineers to construction management, we deliver real-world solutions that stand the test of time. With over 30 years in the business, Luke Sefton's team is committed to getting your project done right, on time, and on budget. Sefton Engineering Consultants. Reliable, experienced, personal. Learn more at seftonengineeringconsultants.com.
Here's more of Backstage Pass with Shondra, brought to you by Chef Lisa Dahl.
My second guest is here sitting with me in my personal studio, and I have to tell you, I am excited about having her here. You know her. I know her. I've known her for years. Matter of fact, I think the first time I met her was in 2014 when the Sedona Illuminate Film Festival, which if you've not been part of that film festival, oh, you got to check it out. But that's a whole nother story, and we'll get to that later. Right now, I just want to welcome, and I want to do applause, but there's nobody sitting here with us, Danette Wolpert Holman. Thank you for being here, Danette. This is great. I just love having you here.
Such a pleasure to be here, Shondra.
Good. I'm so glad. We have so much to talk about. I'm going to dive in right away. Okay. I know that you have a corporate background. I know that you had some sort of an epiphany where you realized that film is what you wanted to do, but not as a filmmaker, but supporting filmmakers. So tell us a little bit about that shift. And we have so much to talk about, so you're going to make it brief.
Yes, well, there's been a few of these major shifts in my life. The first one happened one day when I was sitting in my office at Ernst & Young as a management and IT consultant, and I looked over, and there was this magazine open on the coffee table, and it was an ad for Outward Bound. There was this woman scaling this mountain, right? She was clearly deep in her passion, and it made me think, am I there? Am I fulfilling, my deepest passions? Am I in my soul's purpose? And within a couple months, I was off on a new path.
So did you just give them notice? I mean, did you realize what it was you were going for, or did you just go, I'm done, I'll figure it out?
Oh, I had no clue. And this was very tough for a very type A person that went to engineering school and business school. But I got really good advice that said, if you don't take this leap, you'll never really know, even though you don't exactly know what you want to do. So I spent a year, I gave myself a year to dabble in the things that I loved.
Did you strategize? I mean, did you write a list of the things that you love to do? Did you do that kind of thing, or did you just explore as it came to you?
I kind of had 3 different things in mind. One was human potential management. Like I wanted to go plan those AIDS rides and those breast cancer walks, where people could end up riding a bike for 7 days, 100 miles a day, having never ridden a bike, I wanted to encourage people to do something beyond what they thought was possible. So that was one of them. I wanted to do performing arts management because I always loved dance and theater and music. And I thought, well, I'm not the artist per se, but I love to work with artists, and I like to bring sort of the business components to it and motivational components to it. So I did dabbling in that. And then the third was film. And it's not because I went to film school or had really any experience in film. I just felt film was this vehicle to inspire, to entertain, to engage, to bring new thought, to possibly change beliefs and uplift and inspire and transform. And so that was sort of like the third avenue. And I just gave myself the goal of choosing a new career at the end of the year. Or if there was none of the above, then I would consider going back to Ernst & Young.
Right. Would they have taken you back, do you think? I mean, I'm just curious because that corporate world is different, isn't it?
It is. But Shondra, I got a really good deal. That was happening right during the tech burst. And so all of these major corporations were like, we have way too many talented staff. And so I got myself onto there was a year off list where we actually still got paid a portion of our salary and we still had benefits, but we were paid to take the year off.
What?
And they had an
crazy.
Obligation to hire us back.
Oh.
And what's so interesting is that, I got myself onto this list. And ultimately, of course, I went back and said, sorry, I'm not coming back. And believe it or not, they had to pay me severance.
Oh, my gosh. You were blessed. I just say, this is
I
not
got really lucky there.
This is Abby normal, as young Frankenstein would say. I am really, that's phenomenal. I'm so glad. I'm so glad this worked out for you.
They say in South Africa, when, this term that they use to say you lucked out was you landed in the butter.
Oh, you landed in the butter.
Landed in the butter.
Yes, I love that. Good for you. Good for you. So you shift right away? What happens? I mean, you didn't go into film immediately, did you?
I did. I actually started in production. I had to start from the bottom. There was no, hey, you've been a senior consultant, consulting for Fortune 500 companies all over the country.
Which you did.
Which I did. And so therefore, you're going to make a lateral move, and become a producer. No, that is not how the film industry works.
No, and that is not how the entertainment business works. It's very interesting. I do not believe in luck, by the way. I believe in being where you need to be, in the right place at the right time. And there is that old saying, a Buddhist saying, I believe, about if it's meant for you, it will find you. And yes, you do have to do the work and the action, and you did. You heard the call, and you followed it. That's the key. People hear things, but they don't follow what they're hearing. And I would imagine that whether that was through an individual who mentored you, or maybe you just felt that, you obviously felt something intuitively. That magazine was right there for you, right? Okay.
Well, I agree with you. I do think that there is a divine design.
Yep.
And even though at the time I thought I landed in the butter, I have since really sort of evolved on a spiritual path that helps me understand how and why things really did happen this way.
Yes, I would imagine that would be the case because you had something happen. You have quite a story, and I want you to share this with everyone. It's a very intimate story, a very personal story, but hearing it helps others with what they're going through and to see that there are all kinds of miracles everywhere, right? Tell the story of what happened and how it changed everything.
Yes, this has truly become the central story of my life in terms of the way that that I see the nature of reality and why things happen the way they do. In 2017, I started to notice some weird symptoms. And within a year, I was diagnosed with Cushing's syndrome. And a lot of people don't know what that is. But what it means in my case was that there was a tumor in my pituitary that was excreting cortisol 24/7. And what that does is it starts breaking down everything in your body. Your muscles, your bones, your brain, your heart, your metabolism, I mean, everything. And, you really need to have surgery and have it taken out in order, for it to go into remission, possibly remission forever. And so this was a very difficult time of my life,
I'll say.
And what it really did, though, was it really made me understand what I was capable of doing. Because traditional perspectives would say that this is a medical condition. It is strictly up to the doctors. It is strictly up to the success of the brain surgery I was to have, and that I would be a statistic.
Wow. That's hard news. I don't know. How did you take the news when you first found out?
It was terrifying.
I guess. I mean, really. That's just so unexpected to hear that. Now, were you with your husband at that time?
I was. We were not married yet, but he was already going to be, the love of my life forever. And he was my rock through that whole period.
And he also, there's something really interesting about this story, the two of you together. And share, I know a little bit about this, you guys. I just want you to hear it from Danette because it's compelling and it's inspirational too. It's very intense, but wow, what miracles here. Go ahead.
So I'll just fast forward to the moment after my brain surgery. The surgeon had come in and said, because the results were not as we had hoped, and the brain surgeon said, well, it's very possible that we took out the wrong tumor.
No. Oh, that's not good news. That's something you do not want to hear.
And of course, my first question was, there's another tumor?
Exactly. Like, what? Yeah.
And he said, well, it's not something that we detected before, but it's possible that there was a microscopic tumor that was really creating this cortisol issue. And he walked out, and I sensed just this feeling of defeat. And of course, my cortisol numbers were going in the wrong direction. They were skyrocketing, which is the opposite of what we wanted.
Yeah, you were stressed out. This happens, when you hear news like that. Good grief.
And the indication of a successful surgery is that your cortisol goes down, 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 down to under 4.
Ooh.
And mine was going up to 85.
Whoa.
So nobody was jumping for joy in that hospital room. But this is what happened next. He left the room. And of course, tears came to my eyes because the nurse had also given me the cortisol numbers, and I knew exactly what needed to happen, and the opposite was happening.
Right.
And I decided to go into meditation. And I did the deepest and longest meditation I think I've ever done. And it started with, I asked my mother to, she had this sort of, I'm going to call it a prayer box. I had just a circle of support gathered at my house before I left for the hospital, and they each wrote intentions on pieces of paper and put it in this box, and I had not opened it yet.
Oh, wow.
And so at the beginning of this meditation, I had my mother sit and just read all the intentions in this box. And they really helped me sink really deep and start really working on why did this tumor come? What do I need to release? And I had known because I had done a year of emotional release work because of that tumor. I really believe that when things happen to you, they happen for a reason. And it's like, knock, knock, here's a message for you. Are you going to hear this message?
Right.
And so the message for me was actually surrender, because I'm such a type A. I like to make sure everything goes exactly, as I'd like it to, bit of a perfectionist, set a goal, achieve the goal. But I think that was taking over my life. And the message that I kept hearing was, surrender, like surrender with the flow of life, surrender with the flow of the universe. And in that moment, I surrendered at the deepest level I've ever surrendered. I surrendered living.
Wow. Wow.
And it was like, okay, if this is what is meant to be, I accept it. And after this 4-hour meditation, where I reached this great sense of peace, I woke up and I said to Drew, this is all meant to happen just as is. I said, start taking pictures, video, something. I don't know, but I think I'm just supposed to help other people meet these type of what seems like impossible circumstances. So let's figure out how to do that. And right after that, they took my cortisol again. And it went from 85 to 40 something. And then it went from 40 something to 20 something. And then it went 20 something down to 11, and then 11 down to 6, and then 6 down to 4.
Wow. Fantastic.
And this was a huge part of the equation that would heal me. Now, the second part of the equation was that the pathology had to come in and confirm that they had taken all the bad stuff out. And long story short, 6 weeks later, I was called back to the hospital, and they said, how are you? And I said, I'm healed. Because from that moment, after that meditation, I just knew that I was healed. But he said to me 6 weeks later, he said, well, I didn't really tell you this while you were in the hospital, but your pathology came back and the surgery could not be deemed a success.
Oh. Whoa.
And he said, but it sounds like you're good and your numbers are good. And, and I'm not really sure why. You're a mystery case.
Okay. So they can't put it together. I mean, not all doctors. There are doctors that can put things together.
And I appreciate, those doctors were incredible.
Sure.
What they pulled off, I think was incredible. The fact that we don't know 100%, science can't explain 100% of reality. And I can't even explain it either. But what I know is that there were some other factors at play here. And I know that because now this didn't happen just once. It has now happened twice.
Unbelievable.
Because in 2024.
Okay. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. I took my husband to the Flagstaff emergency room because he was having some numbness in the left side. And they thought this could be mini strokes. Anyway, we find out it's not mini strokes. He has a brain tumor as well.
Oh my gosh.
And this one is even worse. This one is potentially the worst form of brain cancer that there is, a glioblastoma.
This is after you're married?
Yes. We had just been married for 2 years.
See, I don't know this. This I don't know. So that's unbelievable. Now, I don't want to rush this story because I'm going to have you come back. But because we've got to get to some other things here. He did make it. And he made it through meditation and this very similar type situations, even worse than the situation you were in.
Fast forward, yes, he got the same kind of miracle that I got, which was 0.0005% probability. And he is perfectly fine. He is, he had to recover because it was a very complicated brain stem surgery.
Whoa.
But he is alive and doing well and thriving.
I just saw him. He was taking pictures at the Arizona Community Foundation Awards. It was great to see you there. He took a fun picture. And he was working and he's there. And it's like, it's not even a year and a half, right? Or maybe it's 2 years.
Not even. And, the idea that that these unexplainable, low probability successes manifested in our life has really made us think about life differently.
I would imagine that every day you have to be grateful for every moment. Am I right about this?
You do. And that really what truly matters is to love and be loved.
To love and be loved. How did it change you as far as, let's say somebody hurt you? And whether it was a family member or something that just really got in there and really did a number on you, are you able to let it go easier now?
Much easier now. I have the ability to kind of take myself back into the moment where you're facing life and death, your husband is facing life and death, and you really, truly understand that we are all one. I did have a moment of transcendence during all of this where it gave me a profound understanding of the nature of reality. And when you can go back to that moment, really none of the small stuff matters.
Yeah, that's amazing. God bless you guys. Really, I mean, seriously, a phenomenal story. And here we are, and the Illuminate Film Festival is coming back, because I know you were online for a while and you were doing different things, and there's a big event, and I want everybody's listening to mark this in their mind and hopefully in your calendar. September 26th, you are coming together to have a huge event, an awards ceremony for filmmakers, and the really cool news is you're collaborating with the Sedona International Film Festival at Sedona Performing Arts Center. How cool is that? I'm just thrilled for you and for Patrick.
We are so excited. Illuminate, was here for 10 years, and Sedona has always been the birthplace, the incubator, of the Illuminate Film Festival vision. And of course, the last 2 years, we took the festival to Santa Barbara. And now we are planning to really offer the Illuminate vision to anybody who wants to host it. So instead of having just one signature festival, we're going to have events all over the country, probably all over the world. We've gotten, requests from all ends of the earth, really, everywhere from the Netherlands to Canada to China to Utah to Miami to Boulder to Mallorca, Spain. And so we're just sort of considering a lot of those requests in terms of, where Illuminate and Conscious Film events will take place. But the very first one is going to be right back here at home. And this is all going to be through partnership. And so who is the best partner, the best first partner in the world? It's got to be Sedona International.
That's right. And I'll tell you what, that is a fantastic festival. I've been to several, because I have been in several as a filmmaker, and oh my gosh, it's very eye-opening. And then all of a sudden I was in Sedona International Film Festival in that one, and I've worked it for years, but I didn't know as a filmmaker how they treat you. You don't know that until you're in other film festivals, right? And good for you. And you know, I have to say, how on purpose is this for you? I mean, I know already this is going to be you're an enormous success already. And this is going to be an enormous success because if anybody could speak to miracles and the very thing that Illuminate reflects to the world, it's you. You're the perfect spokesperson because of what you've been through.
And that's the key of it all is, Illuminate has been my teacher. And when I started it, I didn't know I would end up becoming the poster child.
Right?
Right. For
really?
For what is possible. And really, it was the many, many years of conscious films that taught me about the mind-body connection. It taught me about meditation. It taught me about, our capacity to heal. It taught me about, remote energy work. It taught me about all of the things that honestly created the miracles in my life. So I actually have Illuminate to thank for it all.
It's wonderful. And for those of you who don't know Illuminate Film Festival, tell people how they can learn more. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I knew this was going to happen. Gosh. So tell everybody how we can find out more information about the 26th of September and also just about the film festival.
Well, yes. Our website is illuminatefilmfestival.com, and so we will keep everybody updated. We are exploring so many options right now, but what we're doing at the moment is this Oneness of Humanity micro shorts competition. We have invited the world's filmmakers to make 90-second films.
Wow.
And we are giving them $25,000 of awards in cash at this September 26th event and showing the top finalists. So that's going to be really exciting. I really don't think we've ever seen that in Sedona where we've given creators, right, this kind of...
What's great, I'll tell you what, as a creator, when people give you a cash award, it's really phenomenal, right? Because you could put that towards your next project or just enjoy it, for goodness sakes.
Oh yeah, and most of them create with it, and so we want to do that in order to continue to elevate consciousness and inspire personal and social and planetary transformation in the world.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Danette, so much for being here with me. And I know that everybody listening has been, I'm going to make a pun, illuminated. Remember, it's illuminatefilmfestival.com. Make sure you visit it. Make sure you write it down. The September 26th at SPAC, which is Sedona Performing Arts Center, for those of you traveling in and for those of you who live here. Thank you, Danette Wolpert, Holman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Shondra.
Okay, stay with me. I'll be right back.
You've explored the trails, stood in awe of the red rocks. Now discover how Sedona became Sedona. The Sedona Heritage Museum tells the story of Red Rock country, from ancient cultures to today's vibrant community. It's interactive, family-friendly, and open year-round, indoors and out. Sedona Heritage Museum, preserving and sharing the soul of Red Rock country. Plan your visit at sedonamuseum.org or call 928-282-7038.
Take a deep breath and let it go. At Sedona's New Day Spa, your escape begins the moment you arrive. Enjoy luxurious massages, rejuvenating facials, and native-inspired body treatments. Every moment is designed to restore balance and renew your spirit. Voted Sedona's Best Day Spa, this is more than self-care. It's your sanctuary. Book your experience today at sedonanewdayspa.com or call 928-282-7502.
Need a clean car fast? Come to Cleaner Quicker Car Wash. We'll have you sparkling and back on the road in minutes. Whether you're after a quick shine or a deep clean, you'll get top quality service, eco-friendly soaps, and smiles all around. Drive up, shine up, and feel good, all without slowing down your day. And look like a star in your car. Located in West Sedona on Highway 89A. For more information, visit cleanerquickercarwash.com.
Here's more of Backstage Pass with Shondra, brought to you by Chef Lisa Dahl.
I do want to mention that the story ends really good with Danette and her husband, Andrew. It wasn't as bad as they thought it was. He had a full recovery. He's thriving and doing really well. He really is. That's exciting, right? Oh, do you hear that? You know what that means. It means it's time for my shameless Shondra spot. As I mentioned last time, we're already into the second year of Sedona Backstage Pass, and I'm so excited. I have a new refreshed logo. It has a picture of me with the logo and the Red Rocks of Sedona behind it. So that's how you'll know you're on the correct Spotify page. And remember, we are on YouTube, same logo, and also Apple Podcasts and Sedona.biz. You can always get to us by going to Sedona.biz. You'll find us there. And I really, really appreciate those of you who have tuned in and really enjoy Sedona's Backstage Pass, who have left 5-star ratings and reviews. For those of you who haven't done that yet, if you're really enjoying it, I welcome you to do so. We've got tons of artists, creators, curators, leaders of the Sedona community that are bursting with incredible behind-the-scenes stories to share with you. And your listening, along with your stellar reviews, really matters. I can't stress that enough. And remember, you can do the same thing on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and even leave a message on Sedona.biz. You'll always find us there. And share all of the episodes on Spotify. If Apple is your game, then make sure you go to Apple Podcasts, do the same with the reviews and following and all that. It makes a big, big difference. So thank you for tuning in weekly, and all of you who leave a 5-star rating, follow, and leave a sterling review, my huge thank you to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and thank you to my guests. I really want to thank my sponsors: Sedona Heritage Museum, Sefton Engineering, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, Sedona New Day Spa, Sedona.biz, and my presenting sponsor, Chef Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Group. Without them, I wouldn't have this show, and I just want to thank you for being with me in this new second year of wonderful episodes. I'm so excited about that. So be sure you tune in. You know where to find us. I've talked about it a million times in this episode. So remember to get your VIP pass out and come on over. And in the meantime, have a wonderful weekend and enjoy a terrific week ahead. See you soon.